Valdosta, Georgia, a city without limits. Home to some of the most unique places and amazing opportunities. For some, Valdosta is just a place to work. For others, it's a place to get an education. But one thing is for certain, most of us call this city home. And just like any home, it's important for everyone living in it to do their part in keeping it clean. Pollution and litter is an issue that affects every community around the world. And without us doing our part, future generations are destined to suffer. So, what are we doing in our community to preserve the environment for future generations? Welcome to our campus, Valdosta State University, a place of higher learning, a place to grow friendships and make memories that will last a lifetime. We call this home. As students here, we genuinely care about the growth and preservation of our campus and fellow students. Here to talk with us about campus recycling and what students can do to help in the fight against pollution is Mary Lancaster.
Hi, I'm Meredith Lancaster with Valdosta State University's Environmental and Occupational Safety Office. We're an administrative office here on campus. We try to make sure that the campus stays in compliance with all of the Environmental Protection Agency, Georgia Environmental Protection Division, OSHA, all of those regulations regarding worker safety, environmental protection, and compliance. There's a tremendous amount of pollution in the world. A lot of that is just the existence of organic beings on the campus. In the world in general. Animals generate waste the same way that humans do. Not to the same extent, obviously, but we all generate waste in the world. And so that is certainly a problem. Technology, in some aspects, increases that. It also reduces the amount of pollution in the world. Some of the things that we've done on campus over the past 20, 30 years, not that I've been here that long, but things that I know have been done, is the establishment of recycling programs on the campus. Our recycling programs generally focus on paper, a lot on paper in the different buildings on campus, also on plastic and glass recyclables. Our Odom Library has a cardboard recycling program where they have somebody come and pick up. They recycle old books and periodicals as well as the paper and plastic and glass and aluminum. One of the ways that we try to make sure that it's easy for people to recycle is by having recycling containers in all of the buildings. Generally, we try to locate them in the same place as trash containers. We've had a lot of problems in the past with people either putting trash in the recycling bins or putting their recyclables in the trash bin. Of course, sometimes your recyclables are contaminated. If you have a paper plate that's soaked with pizza grease, that is actually no longer considered a recyclable. It's contaminated and should go in the regular trash rather than being put in the recycling bin. There are a lot of ways that students can help out with reducing the amount of pollution and litter on our campus. The biggest way that you can help out is by not throwing trash on the ground to start with. Pretty frequently as we're walking around campus, we see Gatorade bottles or Coke bottles or apple cores just laying around on the campus. A lot of times we'll pick those up and throw them away as we travel around campus. But it's better just not to throw them out in the first place because somebody's got to pick them up. Students can get involved in a variety of ways. There are a lot of campus organizations, student organizations that have a service requirement. Students can plan cleanup events for the campus to go around and pick a particular area and make sure that all the trash is cleaned up. We often have trash, sadly, that comes onto campus from the creek, from Drexel Park and other areas that is just carried downstream onto our campus and then gets stuck. So cleaning up those areas is certainly something that can help keep our campus the beautiful campus that we all enjoy.
We caught up with some students to find out their thoughts about recycling on campus.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I am a senior and I'm a geoscience major with a focus in geology. A lot of times people don't want to recycle because they just don't want to take the time to sort things out or drive down to a center But if you've got a can or a bottle in your hand and you're on your way to the car and there's literally a spot right there, there's no reason not to take 2 seconds and just drop it in there. You know, if everybody here recycled, it'd be really good. And I think VSU has a population of several thousand people. I believe it's like 10 or 11,000 by my last research. But if you get all those people recycling 1 bottle a day, you're looking at 10,000 bottles, plastic bottles. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you get people more active on campus where it's easier, they're more likely to take that home with them and get their parents to recycle. The more people get recycling, the more the word kind of spreads about it, and people realize that there's no harm in recycling. There's more harm in not doing it. And you can set up bins and have people come by and pick them up, and it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't take anything out of your day to do it. There's no reason not to.
Now that we know how our campus community is helping our environment, what is everyone else doing? We headed back into the heart of Valdosta to talk with the City Hall employee Aaron Strickland, the head of Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful.
I'm Aaron Strickland, Executive Director of Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful. Been working here for 17 and a half years. I consider Valdosta to be a great little town. I call it little, but to me it's kind of an in-between sized town. It's not too big, not too small, and it's really kind of centrally located. There are a lot of negative effects of littering and pollution. Some of those being aesthetic, things not looking nice. You see litter on the ground, it looks trashy, it looks junky, it doesn't make you very proud of your community. And it also goes a step beyond that as well. It can also affect our local economy. Say, for example, you're going on vacation with your family, you've got a wife and kids, something like that. You get off at an interstate exit, you get off on the exit ramp, you see knee-high grass, there's trash everywhere, there's graffiti on the buildings and such. Odds are you're going to turn around, you're going to tell your kid to hold it, and you're going to go to the next exit and get off somewhere that looks nicer, looks safer. People associate, litter, with crime and violence and those sorts of things. It doesn't give you a very good feeling of safety. So it can also, affect the local economy that way. It can also affect personal economies as well, or our own pocketbooks, because litter has been known to bring down property values by up to 15%. So it doesn't look good, it's not good for our local economy, and it's not good for our own economy as well. The reason people litter, there's a lot of different reasons. A lot of litter you see on the roadsides is there because some people do throw it out, but a lot of times it's kind of what I like to call incidental litter. It comes out of the back of people's pickup trucks, off the back of work trucks, such as that. I was riding down a local road here, North Valdosta Road, just last week. There was a landscaping truck in front of me. They had just put out a bunch of mulch. I could tell they had just put out a bunch of mulch because there was about 100 bags on the back of their truck that were unsecured, that they were, hauling butt going down the road 60 miles an hour, and sure enough, one of the bags goes flying out, and I'm like, well, case in point, here's your example how a lot of litter happens. So it's not all, intended litter. Some of it is incidental, such as that. It's there from carelessness. And people think that once it leaves my hand, it's not my problem anymore. In the city of Valdosta, they've been addressing, litter's become more of an issue in the forefront to a lot of the mayor, the city council and such as that, and the county as well. They're trying to get a better handle on the problem. We can go out, we do a lot through Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful, we do a lot of cleanups and programs throughout the year. We'll go into neighborhoods, we'll do roadside litter pickups, we'll do bulk trash amnesty type events in neighborhoods and recycling events and stuff like that. We could do those events until the day the world blows up. But where it's key and what we try to do is to teach children and teach adults, this is not good and this is why it's not good. Unfortunately, with adults, usually the only time you can really get through to them is if you hit them in the wallet, so to speak. That leads to the importance of enforcement. You see signs on the side of the road all the time. So many $200, $300, $500, $1,000 fine for littering. Well, unless you enforce that, then that sign's useless. Same thing with, ordinances and things of that nature. And a lot of the code enforcement marshals have been, doing a lot more ticketing and stuff like that, for litter, because they, realize too that, that's the only way you're really going to get through to adults. Children, I can go into classrooms, which we do often, and, tell them the importance of not littering and, the good things about recycling and stuff like that. I can get through to them. They can, hopefully take those messages to their parents. And even if the parents don't listen, hopefully the kid will grow up and he'll think about that lesson. And whenever his kid, decides to litter, he can, tell him to stop and tell him why to stop. So that is, some of the reasons why people litter. You show me a dirt road, you show me a convenience store, you show me a rural highway, and I'm going to show you some litter. You can go outside of any convenience store around here pretty much, and people leave that store, and it may be a distance of 20 feet where they've gotten finished with that lottery scratch-off ticket. Of course, it's not a winner, they're going to throw it down. They've got a drink or something like that. If it's a convenience store out in the county, you can go half a mile down the road, you can see, a little more concentration of food wrappers, drink cans, bottles, things of that nature. Because that's generally about the time they get done with that drink, they're going to get rid of it. They don't have the common sense to know, hey, I got a trash can in my house. Wherever I'm going, there's going to be a trash can there. They just would rather throw it out their window for some reason. There again, once it leaves their hand, it's not their problem anymore. It's the way they look at it. And that's just a mentality, a behavior that we've been trying to modify over, all these years. Keep Lions Valdosta Beautiful is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, environmental organization. We're an affiliate of Keep Georgia Beautiful and Keep America Beautiful, so you can kind of see how the national structure is set up there. In the state of Georgia, there are about 75 of the Keep America Beautiful affiliates. Throughout the entire nation, there's about 560 some odd affiliates. So you can see that nearly a fifth of all the Keep America Beautiful affiliates in the country are out of the state of Georgia, of which we are one of those. We do we have an annual program of work that I developed, and it involves some different programs such as the Adopt a Street program in the city, Adopt a Road program in the county, and different recycling events, whether that be electronics, Christmas trees, things of that nature. Cleanup events. We do an annual river cleanup event, which is called Rivers Alive. We do a cleanup in the fall that's kind of more roadside and neighborhood oriented called Make a Difference Day. We have a fall electronics recycling event. Bring One for the Chipper, which is our Christmas tree recycling event. We do that the first Saturday of January. We partner with the City of Valdosta to celebrate Arbor Day in February. We have a spring electronics recycling event in April. Great American Cleanup, which is a lot similar to the makeup of Make a Difference Day that we do in the fall. And a lot of sporadic cleanups in between there. We have about 75 participants in our Adopt a Road and Adopt a Street programs, and that's pretty evenly split between the city and the county. To date, whenever I started with the organization back on July 14th of 2000, I started keeping a running tally of everything that we collected at our events, the tonnages and stuff like that. Before I tell you what those numbers are, I can tell you what I have to work with. Again, I'm the sole staff person for the organization. I occasionally get an intern. Luckily, I have a very good one right now, Sage Stokes. She's a marketing student at VSU. And so with 12-member board, one staff person, occasional intern, and I have a very small budget of $60,000. That pays for me. It has to pay for me and everything that we do. So I like to say I've perfected the art of doing more with less. So if you take those things into consideration, what I have to work with, and then you look at what we have done over the past 17 and a half years, the organization itself has been around approximately 20 years, a little over 20 years now. It was founded October 28th, 1997. But to date, since I came into the organization, I started keeping better records and things of that nature. We have had 13,194 major event volunteers come out. We've picked up 1,259.29 tons. That equals out to about 2,518,576 pounds of trash, litter, debris, all that stuff that was in areas that it didn't belong in, whether it be rivers, roadsides, communities, anything like that. And electronics recyclables, we've picked up 3,106 scrap tires, 307 appliances, and we have chipped up and recycled 17,787 Christmas trees. So if you look at what we have done and compare that to what we have to work with, I guess you could say come in here and make miracles happen every day. So, small miracles. Keep Lions Sawdust Beautiful has received the Keep America Beautiful President's Circle Award for almost 14 or 15, every year that I've been involved with the organization. You'll be getting some B-roll shortly of those awards back there. I keep them on my mantle. And pretty much every year that I've been here, that we have been able, that we have known about that award, we've gotten it. And the same with Keep Georgia Beautiful. They have an award called the Governor's Circle Award, and I believe we have received that now for 5 years in a row, which is the only 5 years it's been offered. So if there's something eligible for us to get, we've gotten it. And we've gotten a couple other knick-knack awards and stuff like that. The most unusual item found from across the state at a river cleanup, which at that particular time, I was back in 06 or 07, and we found a dump pile full of about 40 different satellite receivers under a bridge at this particular river we were cleaning up. It's kind of unusual. I mean, like I said, anything and everything we have found at our cleanup events, whether that be the frame to a pickup truck, an abandoned half-sunken boat, water heater, furniture, appliances, hypodermic needles, which we don't let volunteers touch, an inflatable Santa Claus, a child's pool, literally a kitchen sink, and everything else in there that you can imagine we have found. And like I said, over 2.5 million pounds of junk. Literally anything and everything has been in those, included and found in those cleanups and in those numbers. To date, we have recycled 313 tons of electronics. If you were to line up about between 15 and 18 semi-truck trailers is what 313 tons would represent. If you can imagine all those trailers lined up next to each other, stacked up on top of each other, that'd be a pretty massive structure. That's how much landfill space we have saved just through our spring and fall electronics recycling events. Again, that's coming up on Saturday, April 7th. Again, that's for electronics events, not necessarily electrical items. So when I say electronics, I'm speaking of cell phones, computers, wiring, cables, TVs, computer monitors, keyboards, mice, things of that nature. Electric is like refrigerators, power tools, things of that nature. We don't take those things. We're looking for electronics. That's the difference there. But if you think back to that stack of 15 or 18 semi-truck trailers, you'll understand the importance of events like that. Another event we have coming up is on Saturday, April the 21st. That's our Great American Cleanup event. With that event, much like our Make a Difference Day event, we partner with the city and county, and we have different cleanup events going on in those areas. Great American Cleanup runs from 8:30 a.m. until noon. The Spring Electronics Recycling event runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And to find out more about those and other upcoming events, how to get involved with Keep Lions Sawdust Beautiful, how to join our board, or just to find out, more general information about the organization, you can go to our website. It's klvb.net. You can also find and like us on Facebook. You can email me at astrickland@valdosta.com, or you can call my office at 229-671-3698.